Dude, that was like 10 of them right there. Let's count. Chip's bracelet, the feather, the copyright notebook, Green Hill on the cell phone, the chili dog. Don't forget to optimize. Cosmos flower on the windowsill, the emerald machine, a reference to Sonic X, the music, a reference to Sonic X, the photographs from Unleashed and Sonic X, the different shoes in the background, Chow in space, and then Sonic himself. Let's continue. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Chum Zone. You heard right. We're going to take a look at every single Easter egg that has been showcased throughout the course of this game. There's a lot of Easter eggs just in this specific room. If you take a look right here, this is their original game, the Race of 9 Worlds. It's going to be a racer game. This right here, an Easter egg to Spotify. These bad boys right here, references to other projects they've worked on. Let's take this outside. Over to our left, the beautiful Angel Island. And that's pretty much it here. I hope you guys are comfortable, because we got a lot of references and a lot of Easter eggs to uncover. Let's go in. This specific cutscene is a reference to a popular video game called Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It symbolizes what this tone is going to signify throughout the course of the story.
The storm is coming.
Welcome to Chow Paradise, our first Easter egg. A nice reference to the Chow Gardens, Chow Paradise. Now, if you go to your left, not only is there places to explore, there's a red ring, and this Chow is courtesy of Sonic X. This is just my headcanon. I think they referenced this section from Jungle Joyride Sonic Unleashed, so I'm gonna count it. So, how many are we at so far? Let's keep going. This was actually a pretty cool reference.
Under my eyelids.
This boss fight, this mech, Sonic fought it in Sonic Unleashed. This was the one that he fought in the
Tails,
intro
you
and
obviously
turned
did something
supersonic.
Without the access to the security system, I cannot download the data. Distract him.
Fast forward, now we're in Area 99. This specific stage is courtesy of Sonic X. Most of the Easter eggs here are inside the fortress. Once you get inside and you go to your left, if you go across the platforms and pause for just a brief moment, there's a sign that says "The cake is a lie." This is a reference to a video game called Portal. Once you get down to the wire with this stage, there is a big old Easter egg right behind you. This mural is courtesy of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, signifying the omens that will occur throughout the course of the story. Wild Ridge. Actually one of my personal favorite stages, courtesy of the references. If you go on your normal path and you just so happen to go to the left, there is I guess you can call it a house. There's a cute little drawing. One of Ori, one of Naru, and one of Gumo. And I think that's Ku? These are your main protagonists throughout the series. Once you make your way inside the ridge, the wind starts to pick up and you start to see a lot of spikes throughout the course of the level. This is another reference to Ori in the Blind Forest, a specific area where you have to make your way throughout the course of the spikes. Once inside, Tails starts to notice some of the omen drawings on the walls. And then finally, a cute little reference here.
This time, landing gear is all set.
Sonic Adventure. If you already had an opportunity to play the Ori series, then this should definitely be familiar to you. For the first time, this was obnoxious for me. Gnarl is a 3D version of the worm from Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This reference was insane because it looked so good. And to make things even more interesting, they made a 3D version of their own escape sequence. This is something that you had to do in one go, in one try, just like the Ori series. They even went so far as to copy the part where you have to circle a section in the escape sequence. Genius! Stuff like this just makes me love the game even more. So, this scene is actually very important. It signifies that this is Sonic X. So, I'm surprised nobody caught this. This is the very first scene in the first episode of Sonic X. Now, I do know that there aren't too many references in the final version, but if you went backwards, the beta version had an Easter egg of Infinite, and he would instantly kill you as soon as you got close to him. This was back when the game was called Sonic 2020. Let's continue. Look, I know a bunch of you hate this level, but I personally adore this level. This level is a reference to Ori and the Blind Forest. The stage is called the Ginzo Tree, and you're pretty much doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, going up the tree. Now, if you go to the right and you follow this path, go on top of the tree bark and jump inside, there's a little gift, a red ring, and a big cat. Little stuff like this is cool. But if you go back out and you look down, there will be a spring right there for you, so you can continue your path upward towards the tree and to the goal. Little stuff like this to make exploration a key element similar to the adventure games, and to maintain your speed down to its core. In this section, Sonic talks about the temples and how it reminds him of something. And I kinda in my head think he's talking about Ori again, or he might be talking about his references to Sonic Unleashed. But the level itself is based off of Ori and the Blind Forest again. Similar to Ori, you're running for your life. The water is flooding and you need to get out as quickly as possible. This cutscene is a reference to Sonic X. Sonic has successfully obtained the Chaos Emerald, but the problem is Tails has a Chaos Emerald as well, and they have been separate from each other for a very long time. He pulls it out, and guess what happens? The reaction from the Emerald caused chaos. This has happened numerous amounts of times in Sonic X. Gun arsenal. Red. Blue. If you know how to use your Chaos Dash correctly, and you decide to go up, take a look at the ceiling. When you put your face up, you put your face down. That is the translation. Getting into this section, the obvious one, Vector the Crocodile.
Looks like you found the computer room after all.
Vector? Why are you here?
The GUN allowed me to use their database in one of my investigations. Looks like it might be a bigger case than I thought.
I don't have time for this.
Little things like this. Despite what you may feel about the voice acting, this is top notch. Next reference. You see all the gun robots. This is truly Gun's fortress. And then look, you got Gun watching Shadow as he completes his training. Your monster truck is here. The obvious reference, the gun truck. And it's cool because they give you some little facts about it. And that's it for Gun Arsenal. I want you to keep in mind for this section, it's still technically White Jungle. And what a badass introduction. You cannot deny this was probably one of the coolest moments for Shadow. Not only is he using his motorcycle, but he's utilizing his Chaos Spear. And I've said this multiple times, Homeboy sounds like he's an actual agent this time. Welcome to Moldy Jungle. Technically speaking, this is White Jungle. It's just, things have happened. Things have changed. Did you know that some of the devs are Lord of the Rings fans? If you go on this section right here, and then you look to the left, you see a red ring. But there's more than just a red ring there. Lord of the Rings. As you continue to let the ruins rise, pay attention to this specific tree. That squirrel, that's a reference to their lead modeler.
You approaching me?
I'm pretty sure everybody caught that one. JoJo reference. I should finish that anime. It's not bad, it's just exhausting.
Another monster hungry for a Chaos Emerald. Why am I not surprised?
The Vortex. Did you know that the model for the Vortex is from a game called Darksiders 2? The Wailing Host. That's what it's called. The Vortex has a lot of concepts behind it. I'm quite pleased with the results. Very intimidating boss fight. We're halfway through. How many references have we seen so far? How many Easter eggs? Not bad. We're getting down to the wire.
Looks like Eggman was expecting us.
trade.
Well, that's just rude. He should have stayed to greet his guests.
Enough. I need to focus. I will contact you as soon as possible.
Go get him, Tiger.
Obvious reference to Spider-Man. Once you open up the gate that doesn't break the pace, take a look at this computer right here. Walk up towards it.
Welcome to the United Railroads, built for a united world. With the events that have altered our planet, we have met these changes with open arms. The United Railroads' mission is to utilize our expansive railway network to unite humanity and our new neighbors. Let the engineers board die. Welcome.
Cortana, the voice assistant from Halo. I'm not a Halo fan, but I'm sure some of you guys would appreciate something like this. Once you're finished with your computer, head on down. In the corner right here, another little reference. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was geared toward the Sonic fans, the haters out there who were trying to make this game fade away. But that's not the case. This is actually from Cyberpunk 2077. As you make your way down the field, I want you to notice something. Notice the roots from the jungle reaching all the way out from the city. Little stuff like that. We'll get to that later. Make your way across the stage and you'll see a large gap in a platform. Make your way towards the platform with the skydiving, and then there'll be another large gap, and you have to utilize your Chaos Dash. Once you make it across, there's going to be 2 containers. These 2 containers represent the Matrix, the blue and the red decision. Choose the blue. Probably one of the best Easter eggs on this game. Now, let's do it again. But this time, let's choose red. If you choose the red capsule, you get 300 rings. And a little love from John Rise. John Rise is the creator of this specific level design, and he's the one who's been creating most of the soundtracks for the video game. Once you're done, you don't die. You continue with the level. Now, bear in mind, you have to maintain the upper path if you want to get to the next Easter egg. This Easter egg is kind of creepy, but it's pretty cool.
The fact that it died was the fact that it was terrifying. They say Child on Mars, and I don't know what that reference is, but I've heard that song that played before, and I don't remember where I heard it from.
Child on Mars is a reference from Adventure 1 and the launch of Doom. Anybody here enjoy a little bit of graffiti? Speed your way through these obstacles, get to the next section, and then what you will see is a kind of a 2D platforming section. Not really. On this whole wall here, all you see is a bunch of graffiti representing the jackals from Sonic Forces. Once you get to this section, take the upper path and you'll see another graffiti mark for the jackals. Once you finish your battle here, that again doesn't break the pace, keep going straight. I'm pretty sure a lot of us just hit forward, but if you keep going, there's another one. Thornduck. I'm pretty sure this is disrespect towards Thorndyke in a way, and still the Jackal Squad is still a thing, courtesy of Sonic Forces. Before we move on, I want to show you guys how to do this.
Doesn't sound like anyone was on board with the merge. Wow, that's such a dark twist. Imagine Chris being hated so badly. Interesting. Did not see that coming. Not at all.
This was pretty tight. Sonic literally finessed this.
That nigga was gone. That man was gone.
I can do it too. Damn it! Anyway, you get my point. Let's move on. Now, imagine trying to fight this bad boy while trying to pay attention to all of the Easter eggs on this stage, on this boss fight. So many references, so many signs, so many... You see it? You see it all? Yeah. This was a struggle. I'm over here trying to pay attention to every single sign while trying to stay alive. So to give you a list, the Sonic characters: AliExpress, Ivo Skrpovich, Predator's muscle handshake meme, and a casino that's apparently in their region. This reference is very important to me. Why? Not only does it represent Ori and the Blind Forest, but it also represents in-game cutscenes. Something that I wish future Sonic games would do. We've done this before in previous games, but not to that degree. The representation of Ori and the Will of the Wisps. There's a specific cutscene that has this dark tone, and you're making your way throughout the course of the forest to locate somebody, to look for somebody. And if you pay attention to this specific area, the moon is also here, and as a reference, it's still blown. There it is. The moon is still blown into pieces, and there's a specific episode where Eggman, quote unquote, fixed it. Oh, and there's Sora. After Sonic wakes up from his dream, passed out from Shadow, there is a specific Easter egg. If you actually pay attention to the monitor, it shows not only Chris, but it shows Ivo Skrpovich. Sorry if I butchered it. But other than that, it's pretty much the same thing, yada yada. Oh, and the Invincible reference. We're finally getting down to the wire. Weeping Rift. Again, I know you guys hate this stage, but I have to love this stage. Why? It's another Ori and the Will of the Wisp reference. The final stage is literally called Weeping Willow. So it has those same aesthetics. It has that same danger. It has that same difficulty. And I'm here for it. Once you make your way to this specific area and you turn on the switch, get a little closer. Look with your eyes. Pay attention to what you're seeing. What you're witnessing is a Gaia temple. That hole is where the emerald is supposed to be. Once you're finished battling the Metarex and all of the enemies are destroyed, the shield will go down and you're making your way to the big finale. Now, this final piece is by far the most important, not only to me, but anyone who is an Ori fan. Because what this represents is the bird. The dark bird, Ember. Ember is a representation of the story of Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps. The concept behind this is you are not supposed to be fighting this bird. You can only avoid this bird. These are the exact same game mechanics that have been implemented in the original game. And here they are in full 3D. I feel like they're a fusion of Ku, the mother, and Shriek. and it looks so good. So I feel like this needs to be talked about. There's a reason why Shadow acts and talks the way he does. And based off of his actions, I feel like Shadow the Hedgehog, the game, doesn't exist in this timeline. This game ultimately focuses on the Sonic X series, and then it shifts into the games, specifically taking place right after Sonic Unleashed. Keep in mind, Omega isn't in Sonic X. Omega isn't in this game. And for Shadow to have these visions for the past 2 years, and also the story taking place right after the Metarex saga, it makes sense if you really start to think about how this works. Also, Shadow the Hedgehog was supposed to have a fight with the Exiled. Unfortunately, that idea was scrapped. Cool little reference, Sonic riding the missile, courtesy of Sonic X. And then we jump right into the final stage. Welcome to the Citadel, probably one of the best stages on this game. A lot of speed, a lot of reactions, and a lot of traps. Let's go in. Once you get through the second section and you get to this speedway, you'll look towards your right as you swing from the lasso. If you can make it, there is not only the golden beetle. Go to the upper section, you'll see a red ring and more gold beetles. And see if you can try and make it back to the original level design. Carefully make your way to the water section, do your ring dash, and once you get to the top, don't take the spring. There's another water section. Make your way across and try your hardest to make your way to the top. Once you do make your way to the top, not only is there a red ring, but a reference to Chris and the lab, the Exile, and all of these pictures and references courtesy of Sonic X and the continuation of Sonic X in Sonic Omens. Stuff like this is pretty cool to me. I like the fact that Sonic is damaged and he still made it throughout the course of that level. But on to our next reference. That portal in the background, that's a reference to Sonic X. The portal between worlds. The story is pretty much an explanation or a what if scenario as to why the Chaos Emeralds have not been used throughout the course of Sonic's games. They're being destroyed. Kind of similar to the what if scenarios with the MCU series. Shadow gets to redeem himself by destroying the portal. Sonic absorbs the energy from the Chaos Emeralds, but this time they get absorbed into Chip's bracelet. Couple things behind this. One, the vanilla version, the source code for the Infinity Engine, it always originally had Chip's bracelet. The model, it always had Chip's bracelet. 2, the reason Chip sounds like this is because they wanted to sound like the Japanese version of Chip from Sonic Unleashed. You of course turn into Super Sonic, you get knocked out of your super form. I feel like that's a callback to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, that's just me. And then begins your final confrontation. Sonic versus the Exiled. Dude, I didn't even notice that. Is the hook from Sly Cooper? So, can we talk about this fight real quick? Let's talk about this moment. Stop. Bro, Sonic was about 2 seconds from doing a Chaos Blast in front of this man's face. Once you do the final hit, once everything is all said and done, the Exile does his final attack, his final blow, and the most important reference throughout the course of this game happens. Ladies and gentlemen, Sonic the Hedgehog does the adventure pose as he takes down the Exile. GG. Our final reference, our final cutscene. This one's important to me, and once again, it's important to the Ori fans. It signifies sacrifice. It signifies moving forward. It signifies things are resetting, going back to the way they were. But we are also sacrificing the Chaos Emeralds. If I haven't said it enough, I highly recommend that you guys play the Ori series. Ori and the Blind Forest, and Ori and the Will of the Wisps. All three of these games showcase how beautiful aesthetics can be and how beautiful a story could be when you put your passion, your blood, sweat, and tears. It shows passion, it shows heart, it shows that there was love behind every piece of content within this fan game.